After our trans-Pacific voyage, we came to one of the highlights of our 1977 island tour, the Galapagos Islands, one of the most isolated parks in the world. We flew from Chile to Guayaquil, Ecuador, where we took in some local color. In Guayaquil, we boarded the Ecuadorian ship Iguana to follow in the wake of Charles Darwin's Beagle, which passed this way over 150 years ago. The Galapagos Islands lie astride the equator, a 600-mile voyage from the mainland. Our first landfall was Hood Island. This rugged and harsh island is made of uplifted lava and supports some amazing species of life. The masked booby, the largest of the boobies, with a wingspan of 5.5 feet. The adult plumage is white with black markings on its wings and tail. A distinctive black mask surrounds its yellow eyes and bill. Masked boobies are in the courtship phase of the breeding season. Courtship is ritualistic, and the strong bond between the male and female is formed. After mating, 2 eggs are laid directly upon the ground, but only one chick will survive, as the masked booby feeds far from the shore and nesting site and cannot provide enough food to raise both chicks. The waved albatross is another tenant of the high cliffs of Punta Suarez on Hood Island, the only breeding colony of waved albatross in all the world. This handsome juvenile albatross is among the last of the hatchlings of this breeding season. In a few weeks, he will be mature enough to begin searching the open sea for food. He'll amble to the edge of the cliff with his curious rolling gait and throw himself into the updrafts. The waved albatross is the largest seabird in the area. An 8-foot wingspread enables these birds to glide effortlessly. Along the coast, the sea surges into submarine caves and explodes out through blowholes. The marine iguanas of Hood Island are especially noted for their brilliant coloration during the breeding season. These creatures grow up to 3 feet in length and are the only lizards in the world that live in the intertidal zone and feed on marine algae and seaweed. They are capable of diving to 35 feet and can stay under for at least an hour. Their only natural enemies are sharks, but baby iguanas are preyed upon by hawks, herons, and snakes. This is the blue-footed booby. Does he really have blue feet? You can bet he does. These boobies are the most recognized seabird in the Galapagos. The blue-footed booby is well into the breeding season, and nesting space must be defended in no uncertain terms. The blue-footed booby lays 2 eggs and can normally raise 2 chicks. However, if food is scarce, the older chick will take all the food and the younger one will perish.
He's picking at the little one.
Yeah, kill it.
I'll tell you, on a day like this, it's nice to have Mom around to provide some decent shade. It can be a lonely wait for a fuzzy chick till his parents come back to feed him. From the booby colonies at Punta Suarez, we cruise to the other side of Española. the Ecuadorian name for Hood Island. Here in Gardiner's Bay, we encounter the frolicking sea lions. They survive well here because the Humboldt Current, which flows north from the Antarctic Ocean, bathes the islands in cool water and provides an abundance of food. Sea lions live in groups or harems run by one bull. This time of year, November, the cows have already given birth and the pups are enjoying the sand and water. The cows have only one pup apiece and will nurse it for 2 years. Hey Mom, it's time for lunch. It was here in Gardiner's Bay that Darwin first landed in 1835. The wildlife he studied was an inspiration to him as it was to us. The unusual life he observed inspired him to propose his theory of evolution through natural selection. Even today, scientists regard the Galapagos as the world's best laboratory for studying how species become differentiated. Evolutionary forces are busy everywhere. But here, on these isolated islands, the detective work of the biologist is far easier than on the continents. Equally important, the islands are just far enough apart so that except for birds and marine animals such as these sea lions, individual species rarely contact each other and differences develop from island to island. We leave our drowsy friends for our floating home, the Iguana, a 90-passenger motor vessel. It isn't the Queen Mary, but it gets us to our next port, Santa Cruz Island, some 60 miles away, home of the Charles Darwin Research Station. Here in Academy Bay, we are welcomed ashore by the Santa Cruz subspecies of marine iguana. Blacker than the rocks upon which they live, Darwin called these seagoing lizards imps of darkness. When they swim, their head is held above the water as the tail is moved sideways to propel them. In a national park compound, we see the Galapagos, or giant tortoise. Before the coming of the sailing ships, it is estimated that over 250,000 tortoises populated these islands. Visiting whalers and others stowed hundreds of these 500-pound reptiles in the hold of their ships. There they could survive a year without food or water, providing a source of fresh meat. We saw 2 basic varieties of giant tortoise. The dome-shaped shell, like this, evolved where vegetation was low and dense, allowing the tortoise to forage freely through lush undergrowth, and the saddleback, where the shell is high and raised in front, and neck and limbs are long, allowing a greater reach while foraging for plants. We walk freely among these 100-year-old relics with little to fear, but I imagine if some part of your anatomy resembled a tasty vegetable, you could be in danger. These baby Galapagos have been raised here at the Darwin Station. As soon as they mature enough, they are returned to their ancestral islands to help bolster native populations. Just off the east coast of Santa Cruz lies South Plaza Island, where sea lions greet us at the shore. The island is dotted with the rare opuntia, or prickly pear cactus. On this island, the cactus is rather sparse-looking. On some islands, opuntia can become a tree over 50 feet high. The yellow flower of the opuntia, prickly pear, is the favorite food of the golden brown Galapagos land iguana. The land iguana is a distant relation to the marine iguana, but much larger. In spite of their ferocious looks, they are tame and easily approachable. They also enjoy basking in the sun and regulate their temperature by seeking shade when they get too hot. The southern cliffs of South Plaza are a nesting ground for the swallowtail gull. This gull is most unusual in that it feeds only at night. It ventures far out to sea in search of squid and fish. The question I have is, how does the swallowtail gull find and capture its prey in the dark? Some say the conspicuous red ring surrounding its large eyes aids its night vision. Perhaps ocean phosphorescence outlines its prey as they come to the surface at night. However it is done, the swallowtail chick hiding in this hole will do it when he grows up. Sharing the cliffs with the swallowtail chicks are bachelor sea lions, too young, old, or weak to defend a harem. They must climb this rugged cliff to bask in the sun. Definitely not the choice resort on the island. Meanwhile, other sea lions are teaching visitors how to bark. We are on our way to Bartolomé, a tiny island off the eastern shore of Santiago. We can see the volcanoes of Santiago from atop the highest volcano on Bartolomé. Volcanoes are commonplace in the Galapagos, for it was volcanic eruption and tectonic plate uplifting that formed these relatively young islands. These splatter cones are recent examples of volcanic eruptions. From high up, we can see giant manta rays resting in the clear water. On the way down to the beach, we spot a sea turtle hauling itself slowly out of the water. Sea turtles lay their eggs in the soft sand, and we wait patiently for what may be the film opportunity of a lifetime. But before long, fellow tour members begin encroaching on the turtle's space. The cautious old reptile decides to try again, later, when her beach is more private. From Bartolomé, it is a short cruise to James Bay, on the other side of Santiago or James Island. The bay is made of spectacular sheets of barren lava that descend to the coast along a 2.5-mile front. Here we find a strange group basking in the sun. A land iguana has joined his smaller cousins, the marine iguanas. On our hike to the first seal grotto, we found a tiny Galapagos scorpion and a mating pair of grasshoppers. South of James Bay is a small fur seal colony, the only fur seals in tropical waters. Their survival here is due to the cold waters of the Humboldt Current. Visitors should not touch the natives, but this pup was fascinated with a woman's skirt. Sally Lightfoot crabs, so red they look as though they had been cooked, scurry over the black lava, engaging in territorial chases. The lava heron is also a resident of these rocks, keeping a keen lookout for his dinner. Suddenly he spots a tender baby crab.
He got one leg. He's got another leg. They're still alive.
That's a lot of work for such a little meal. Our group is poised on the lava bridge over the Fur Seal Grotto, a natural spa activated by ocean surges through submarine tunnels. A few of us are preparing to swim in the grotto. A yellow-crowned night heron is hunkered down watching the action. These people are crazy. That water is cold. That looks like fun. Move over, here I come. After that refreshing bath, we're bound for Isabella, by far the largest island in the Galapagos. It stretches over 80 miles long. Encircling the northern end of Isabella, we crossed the equator twice. Our destination, Tagus Cove, the remains of an ancient volcano, surrounded by steep lava cliffs. Water is rough for our tiny panga, but we're here to see the Galapagos penguin, the northernmost penguin of all. When traveling over rough terrain, he uses both flippers and feet, but in smoother areas, he bends forward and scurries along with small hops. These penguins, one of the smallest species, occurs only here in the Galapagos. On land they may appear ungainly, but they can fly through the water like these dolphins who are escorting us to our next landing, the volcanic island of Fernandina, just across the Bolivar Channel from Isabella. Point Espinosa, on the northeast shore of Fernandina, is a broad apron of lava and shell sand. This peaceful scene belies the fact that the Fernandina volcano has erupted at least 10 times since 1813. Now this must be the choice spot on the island. Fernandina is home to the flightless cormorant, the rare bird that because of evolution through natural selection has lost its ability to fly. It appears that it is the mating season for the lava lizard, a 10-inch long resident of the islands. Everyone wants to touch this starfish, but no one touches the Brachyceras cactus, found on bare lava, where no other plant can grow. At first glance, Fernandina's craggy shore of broken lava appears desolate. A closer look reveals the largest colony of marine iguanas in the Galapagos. Hundreds of them, poised like sentinels, all oriented to the sun to maintain their optimum body temperature. For a cold-blooded dragon, body temperature maintenance is an important part of life. On a long dive in the cold ocean, an iguana could lose 30 degrees. If he doesn't bring his body temperature back up, he would not survive another dive. Occasionally they snort, sending a fine spray of concentrated brine from glands in their nostrils. The ability to excrete excess salt from its body allows the marine iguana to drink seawater, another example of evolution. Just off the shore of Fernandina, we see flocks of blue-footed boobies assembling over schools of anchovy. Wheeling about 100 feet above the milling fish, they plunge like rockets into the water after their prey. Blue-footed boobies feed near shore and in groups. This aerial ballet is a common sight. Fernandina being the westernmost point of our Galapagos cruise, we sail back around Isabella to Seymour Island, a small island north of Santa Cruz. Seymour Island is made up of basaltic lava, which was laid down beneath the sea and later uplifted. The magnificent frigate, or man-o'-war bird, is highly specialized for aerial flight, weighing only 2 to 3 pounds with an 8-foot wingspan. Seymour is a nesting site of the magnificent frigates. During courtship, male frigates attract mates by inflating a brilliant red throat sac, but courtship is just a memory, and these soft white bottomless pits require constant feeding. Its primary method of obtaining food is to bully inbound boobies into dropping their catches, which it then seizes in midair. It can remain effortlessly airborne or exhibit incredible maneuverability. The frigate is an air pirate. The only way the poor booby gets to keep his catch is to swallow it. But even then, baby booby gets it in the end. With his belly full, baby booby has the last laugh of our Galapagos adventure. Having followed in the wake of Darwin's Beagle and observed the wildlife close up, we can only marvel at the natural wonders of the Enchanted Isles, the Galapagos Islands.